Good morning, 5th graders. Today we're going to talk about how to round decimals to the nearest whole number. You may remember rounding from 3rd and 4th grade. Rounding decimals is very similar to rounding whole numbers. Remember, when we round, we are finding the number that another number is closest to because it's easier to work with. Let's think about an example of when you might round a decimal. Let's say you're going to the movies, and a movie deal, where you get tickets and popcorn, costs $16.75. About how much does it cost? This may be a situation where you just want a good guess of the amount of money it costs, so you can round to the nearest whole number to estimate. When I round to the nearest whole number, I'm rounding to the ones place. I need to find the two whole numbers that 16 and 75/100ths falls between. Well, I know that it's $16 and a little bit more. So 16 and 75/100ths falls between 16 and 17. I'm going to use the next place value, the tenths place, to split my number line up and locate 16 and 75/100ths. I have split my number line into the tenths that fall between 16 and 0/10ths and 17 and 0/10ths. Now I need to place 16 and 75/100ths on my number line. I know that that would fall between 16 and 7/10ths and 16 and 8/10ths. Now, when I round, I'm looking for which whole number is this closest to. Well, 16 and 5/10ths is the midpoint, the exact middle of my number line. 16 and 75/100ths is past that midpoint, so it's much closer to 17. The movie deal will cost about $17. So when I round to the nearest whole number, I find the two whole numbers that a decimal is between, and I use a number line to think which whole number is it closest to. Let's look at another example. Round 137 and 915 thousandths to the nearest whole number. In order to do this, I'm going to look at the ones place, because the nearest whole number tells me that I'm going to be rounding to the ones place. I know that this number falls between 137 and 138. It's a little bit more than 137. Now I can draw a number line and use tenths, the next place value over, to locate the number on my number line. I have filled the tenths into my number line. I know that 137 and 915 thousandths is just past 137 and 9/10ths. It's a little bit more. When I look, it's well past the midpoint of 137 and 5/10ths. It's closer to 138. When I round 137 and 915 thousandths to the nearest whole number, I get 138. Let's look at one more example. Round 78 and 41/100ths to the nearest whole number. Well, I'm rounding to the ones place, so I need to find which two whole numbers does this number fall between. It's more than 78, but it's not quite 79. So 78 and 79 are the two whole numbers this falls between. Now I can use the next place value over, tenths, to split up my number line and find its location. Now I've labeled the tenths on my number line. 78 and 41/100ths is just past 78 and 4/10ths. That's not quite to the midway point of 78.5. The 4 in the tenths place tells me that I'm closer to 78. When I round 78 and 41/100ths to the nearest whole number, I get 78. So don't forget, find the two whole numbers your decimal falls between. Plot them on a number line and look at the tenths place to see where your decimal number is located. That will help you figure out which whole number it's closest to.